Around 2019, a man named Mr. View, an experienced funeral flower decorator, received a peculiar request. The job was straightforward: decorate the funeral of an elderly woman who had passed away at the age of 97. Yet, it would become the most chilling experience of his career. The family's instruction was clear. Every decoration, curtains, flowers, drapes, must be white and green only. No red, no black. The deceased had left that instruction herself before she died. Her wish was final. Mr. View and his two co-workers, Mr. Joe and Uncle Corn, arrived at the temple that evening. The funeral would last for 7 nights, and their first task was to prepare the ceremonial hall. Because the temple closed at 10 p.m. and reopened at 5 a.m., the team decided to stay overnight and work through the silence. By 11 p.m., the last relatives had gone home. The only living souls left were the 3 workers and a few family members sleeping near the coffin. As Mr. Joe climbed a ladder to hang drapes above the altar, Mr. View stood on a table beside the refrigerated coffin to steady him. The coffin's glass window was fogged with condensation. Mr. View tried not to look inside, but then he saw it. On the foggy glass, a handprint slowly appeared from the inside. He froze. The mark was fresh, as if someone had just wiped away the fog from within. But he said nothing, convincing himself it must have been a trick of temperature. Moments later, an elderly lady entered quietly. She introduced herself as one of the deceased's senior relatives and kindly warned Mr. View. "Please tell that young man not to step on the coffin. It's disrespectful, even if it's covered." Her voice was calm but commanding. She stayed to supervise them, offering water and asking if they needed help. Her presence was oddly comforting. Throughout the night, she moved quietly between the tables, checking their progress. The next morning, the team received a framed portrait of the late grandmother from the family, a painting of her as a young woman, to be placed before the coffin. As they arranged white orchids and lilies around it, Uncle Corn joked that the woman in the picture seemed to smile at them. Mr. View, wanting to make the frame stand out, slipped in a few pink roses, despite the rule of only white and green. The moment he set the portrait upright, it fell face down with a loud thud. He tried again, tied it tighter this time. 10 minutes later, it fell again. That's when Uncle Corn said, quietly, "Maybe she doesn't like the pink." Mr. View removed the flowers. The portrait stayed still. By the 5th night, exhaustion had set in. The relatives left early, and the hall grew silent again. Only the 3 workers remained, and the old lady who continued to watch over them. At midnight, she approached and asked them to bring in a tray of offerings that had been left near the coffin. "The cats might eat it," she said. Later, near dawn, she woke them again, telling them to chase the cats away before they ruined the flowers. Her concern seemed endless, her energy tireless. On the final night, she even brought them food, rice, curry, and a few kanongsai, old-style Thai desserts wrapped in banana leaves. They tasted unusually delicious, fragrant, and soft. Mr. View and Uncle Corn thanked her warmly. While eating, they flipped through an old photo album of the deceased, laughing softly at how young she looked. But as they neared the end of the album, their laughter faded. One of the final photos showed the very same old lady, the one who had been helping them, lying sick in a hospital bed. And the last page stopped their hearts. It was a group photo taken during the funeral preparation. The same woman was there, lying peacefully in the coffin. The woman who had been feeding them, warning them, standing right beside them, was the deceased herself. The men stared at each other in shock. Before they could speak, a crashing noise echoed from the kitchen, metal trays clattering to the floor as if someone was angry. They dropped everything and fled the hall, running to their car. When they drove off, Mr. View glanced in the rearview mirror and saw her figure walking calmly back into the temple hall. They checked into a hotel nearby to rest, but the haunting followed them. The hotel owner called to ask why they lied about the number of guests. Mr. View insisted there were only 4 of them. The owner replied that the CCTV showed 5 people entering the room. At dawn, the family called in panic. The peacock floral display and decorations near the crematorium had collapsed overnight. There was no storm. No one had been there. When the team returned to fix everything, Mr. View confessed what had happened. The family listened silently before one of them said softly, "The woman you met, that was grandmother. And the kanom sai sai you ate, it wasn't from the kitchen. It was the offering placed next to her coffin." They lit incense, apologized at her portrait, and finished the decorations exactly as she'd wanted. Pure white and green. When the final prayer was said, a cool wind passed through the hall, as if she had approved. That night, Mr. View swore he heard a woman's voice whisper, "Thank you." Even now, whenever he decorates a funeral, he avoids pink flowers entirely. He knows some clients still watch closely from the other side. If you enjoyed this true Thai horror story, subscribe to Tale After Dark for more chilling tales every week.